Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
A shift in the battle over a Texas voting bill. One of the House Democrats who left the state for Washington, D.C. to prevent a restrictive voting rights bill from passing is now back in Texas.
San Antonio lawmaker Philip Cortez argues he's taking on a different strategy. But not all of his colleagues agree with that decision. The Night Team's John Paul Barajas spoke to him to find out what led to his return to Austin.
A little over a week after nearly 60 House Democrats fled the state to deprive Republicans the minimum number of lawmakers to vote on a restrictive voting bill, one is back at the Capitol, but says his goal is still the same.
I came back strictly to have these open communication lines, discussions, negotiations. Had the opportunity not been there to begin this dialogue and these discussions, I would have stayed in D.C. to continue to stand with my Democratic colleagues.
Representative Philip Cortez explains Republicans requested that any discussion or potential compromise on the bill be done in the House. His return still does not give Republicans enough members to vote, and Cortez claims a small group of lawmakers in D.C. asked him to come negotiate on their behalf. He wouldn't name them, but said it was 5 to 4 others. Democratic Representative Ina Minjares is not one of them.
She put in her statement, it's disheartening to think that some representatives might value a gavel over protecting the voting rights of all Texans. How does that make you feel and going forward?
I'm not going to let that statement distract from my job here. And my job is to try to improve House Bill 3.
Is there a tear between the Democratic caucus right now, or is this just a different route you guys are trying to work through?
It's important that any issue, especially a controversial one like this, that we have different tracks that we're taking to address the issue.
Cortez says him coming back is simply another way to try and improve language in the voting bill, and that he hopes to target key topics like poll watchers, 24-hour and drive-through voting, as well as mail-in ballots. Tomorrow, the good faith negotiations, as he called it, will begin as he's set to meet with the author of the bill, Andrew Murr. And a little while ago, we got a statement from Representative Diego Bernal regarding Cortez's return. It reads, the Bear delegation all made commitments to each other face to face. Phil violated that. He left under cover of night without telling us, disappeared. He knew what he was doing, end quote. Now, in my conversations with other Democrats in D.C., they said they plan to stay there until the end of this current special session, which is set to end on August 7th. John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, John Paul. Certainly seems like some Democrats not happy with Cortez returning. The regular legislative session that ended this spring still has some unresolved issues. The Texas Tribune reports the Texas Supreme Court is now set to look into whether Governor Greg Abbott can withhold pay for the legislature and its staff. The line item veto in the state budget happened after Democratic lawmakers killed a strict voting measure by walking out during the regular session. We have that article right now on KSAT.com.
A massive hole shows where flames spread at a West Side home on Bear Creek Drive today. Take a look at this. This is not far from Ingram and Hunt Lane. Firefighters called to the home around 4 o'clock this afternoon. The homeowners were gone at the time, but 2 dogs were there. It's not clear if those pets made it out alive. One woman appeared visibly distraught after looking at the damage. Another man told police he was just at that home an hour and a half before this fire. Arson investigators now looking into the cause. Meantime, questions after a mother and son end a standoff after more than 7 hours. San Antonio police say it all started when they responded to a shooting this morning that happened at an apartment complex on Somerset Road on the city's southwest side. First responders found a man with a gunshot wound to the head, rushing him to the hospital in critical condition. Police were then led to an apartment on the top floor where a lengthy standoff took place. It only ended after a 13-year-old boy and his mother decided to peacefully leave with police. It's unclear right now if or how they were related to that shooting call.
We had a few extra pop-up showers and thunderstorms this afternoon across parts of South Texas. Of course, not everybody got hit, but we had a few folks that had some decent rainfall. This is the radar over the past 5 hours, and you see especially between Hallettsville down toward Cuero into southern Atascosa County. That's where we had the bullseye of the rainfall. Farther southeast of San Antonio, on the order of 2 to 3 inches there along a narrow swath, roughly from Charlotte to Campbellton to Kern City toward Cuero. And if you missed out on the rain today, You have another chance tomorrow before a dry weather pattern settles in. And then more Saharan dust on the way to talk about. But luckily what we had today, even across San Antonio, could be a little problematic on the roadways with some wet spots, but that's about it. We'll talk more about what you can expect in the days ahead coming up.
Thank you, Adam. The rounds of rain this week triggering some distress for some residents who witnessed damaging floods earlier this month. One councilwoman now highlighting San Antonio's approach to flood control. The 9 Team's Patty Santos tells us what the plan is moving forward and how flooding victims can help make progress.
It was a nightmare.
It's a summer thriller that just won't end.
I thought I was going to lose my home. It was a really traumatic experience.
Homeowners across San Antonio can only stand by and document with pictures and videos like this as the rainwaters invade their streets, yards, and for some, their homes.
And the water was calf high. I mean, all the way up. I mean, if it didn't stop raining, it would have been to my knees and it would have been in our house too.
Eleanor Johnson from the Great Northwest homeowners community near Tezel in Culebra says for the first time in more than 20 years of living here, she witnessed homes flood.
Now every time we think it's going to rain, we panic.
There are certain areas we've learned over the last several weeks that have not historically flooded, have maybe never flooded, and flooded this last time around.
District 6 Councilwoman Melissa Cabello Haverda says she's working on a plan for the flood-prone areas in her district, but she needs homeowners to help her track any new areas flooding this summer.
These are my people, right? Like, I want to do everything I can to help them.
She wants residents in her district to email photos and information about the flooding they're experiencing to her office. She says this will allow the city staff to start working on a plan and look for solutions.
The water is just rising and rising and rising, and there's not a lot that even the homeowners can do about it. The next best thing I can do is get the information and get funding to help them so it doesn't happen again.
Neighbors say they're ready to see the city take action.
We're in this together, and hopefully something gets resolved with this issue.
And if you live in District 6 and you've had flooding problems, well, they want to hear from you. Councilwoman Haverda says this will help her document the problem, come up with a plan, and also a way to pay for it. Steve, Myra?
All right, thank you, Patty. There are concerns over potentially compromised cases. The Bexar County District Attorney's Office revealing that an informant planted drugs leading to the wrongful conviction of at least 3 people. Investigators with the Bexar County Sheriff's Office served a search warrant for a home on Hermosa Drive back in 2017. The same home the informant used to hide meth inside. Soon after that, 3 people were arrested. Years after learning the truth, Regina Linan Juarez, John Gabriel Cape, and Louis Garcia are set to have their convictions overturned. However, Linan Juarez died before that could happen. The Court of Criminal Appeals will issue a mandate to overturn the convictions of Cape and Garcia in the next few days, when that exoneration will be official. Records showed that informant had a contract to supply law enforcement with information leading to arrests in order to get his own pending drug case dismissed. The DA now looking at other cases involving that informant. Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar applauded the DA's efforts today, saying in part, quote, "Informants are vital to the work our deputies perform, but great care must be taken to ensure informants work within the law," end quote.
Day 8 of the capital murder trial of Otis McKane saw members of SAPD's SWAT team take the stand, speaking about the tactics they used leading to the arrest of McKane. Following the shooting death of Detective Benjamin Marconi, SWAT members embarked on what one officer today called a high-risk operation. Officers initially keeping an eye on a car that McKane was believed to be in near the Lincoln Courts on the west side. But their mission quickly changed when a DPS airplane located a Buick McKane may have been in at a convenience store on the far east side. When the plane showed a man who fit McKane's description get into the driver's seat of that car, SWAT positioned their vehicles for the takedown. Officer Christopher Zigmont was in the lead car.
As we started to creep up into the intersection to make the turn, and we realized we were staring right at the suspect vehicle and the suspect driving the vehicle. Me and my partner kind of made a decision like, hey, like, we got to go. And so we turned into the vehicle, parked in front of it, and exited our vehicle.
McKane eventually arrested. He now faces the death penalty if he is convicted in this trial. Our coverage continues tomorrow with Day 9 streaming live at 1 p.m. on our webpage, as well as the KSAT TV app. A family still looking to fill the remainder of summer break may want to consider a road trip. The budget-friendly tips to consider before you hit the road.
And our Cowboys coverage continues in Oxnard, California, why head coach Mike McCarthy says he nearly wrecked his truck after hearing some news, plus how many team members are vaccinated coming up.
And one San Antonio man finally able to go home after spending months in the hospital with COVID-19. His happy trip home. Next on the Nightbeat.
A sharp rise in coronavirus cases, the country averaging more than 35,000 cases per day right now, with the majority of them being among unvaccinated people. That's up nearly 60% in the last week. Here at home, COVID-19 survivor Tony Lopez finally able to leave the hospital months after being infected. It happened during the February winter storm, a nightmare he will never forget. He spent 150 days in 3 different hospitals. His family was there to support him in his fight while managing their own jobs and the day-to-day.
It was torture leaving them, to have them leave me every night. I'm just glad to be alive.
Today, Lopez was able to celebrate going back home by dancing in his wheelchair to the music of mariachis and a beer in hand.
A beer the doctor told him he could have, by the way.
And he stuck to it.
Welcome home, Tony. New on the Nightbeat, there's time for some summer fun left, and with plenty to do both near and far across Texas, some families may be planning to take a quick road trip.
The Night Team's Patty Santos talks to families on the road for some budget-friendly ideas.
To get some road trip tips, we talked to families coming into the Alamo City. The Ramirez coming in from Galveston say the #1 rule for road trips is it's all about family.
You need to just explore, get out, and just spend more time with the family.
This year in particular, people are really getting back out to explore, so we're getting lots of questions about the best places in Texas to visit this summer.
Megan Lagrone with Travel Texas suggests a short trip to New Braunfels for those with toddlers and younger kids.
They have so many attractions that are great for young children and families. Their McKenna Children's Museum is fantastic.
You can try camping, exploring the caverns, or a picnic and train ride. Those with school-age kids consider Dallas.
There are a lot of attractions where learning can be disguised as fun.
Find it at the Perot Museum, Clyde Warren Park, and the Dallas Zoo.
The beach is a great destination for teens and tweens, and a really cool destination, I think, is Galveston for that age group. In addition to all of the beachside attractions like kayaking, surfing.
Pleasure Pier in Galveston or Moody Gardens, just some of the places teens might enjoy. For money-saving tips, we turn to moms like Marcela Castillo. The Houston native is here to camp and explore the Alamo City. She saves money with a small gas stove, packing snacks, coffee, and even medicine.
Comida desde la casa. We bring our own food from home. We indulge ourselves but don't misspend on things that we can easily bring with us.
Travel Texas says hitting the road during a weekday might also save you a few bucks on accommodations. But the most important advice comes from the Bates, passing through on a cross-country trip from Virginia to Oregon with 5 kids and 2 cats. Have patience.
Flexibility is probably the best saving factor.
Make sure the entire family helps plan your trip so it's fun. Patty Santos, KSAT 12 News.
Yes, for sure.
Another bit of advice from the experts. Remember, sometimes less is more. While making plans, always make sure you leave some time to relax. Avoid wearing yourself out. For a link to all the places we mentioned in this story, go to KSAT.com.
So don't overschedule, is what the experts say. Interesting.
Steve, who could we be focusing that on in our lives?
I would say, but I'd be in trouble at home.
I'm not saying a thing. I'm just going to look at
Bobby, are you watching out there?
Picture.
Mr. Myra, are you watching at home?
12.
Frost Tower looks great.
Uh-huh.
A lot of great things to do just in the KSAT viewing area.
Oh,
for road
right.
trips. I mean, they talked about New Braunfels, but there's just So many great destinations.
You want an extra adventure? I always suggest Big Bend National Park.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Santa
Absolutely.
Elena Canyon. Just it's such an amazing area. Even in the middle of summer, you just got to be prepared for the heat, of course, and a lot of heat, though. It hasn't been that hot so far this summer, but they'll get there. More pop-up showers are expected tomorrow. Then a dry pattern starts on Friday. Saharan dust is going to return again. I'll show you where it is and then when it's going to make it here in a minute. But it all really ties into the weather pattern that we have right now. Let's take a look at it, the radar and satellite over the past 12 hours. And you see that activity popping up across central and south Texas, here and there throughout, especially the afternoon hours when we get that peak heating from the sun and destabilization of our atmosphere. We had a little more activity on the radar today than what we had yesterday because this upper level low is a bit closer, and tomorrow it's probably going to be even more favorable for a few more and extra showers compared to what we had today, especially in the afternoon. Then the upper level high, which is over Miami, that's going to be moving our way. And that's going to bring us a lot of sunshine and drier conditions for several days and also steer that dust our way. More on that in a moment. First of all, upper level low here. It's good. It should be positioned very favorably tomorrow to kickstart more numerous showers and thunderstorms. Still not everybody's going to see them. Kind of like today, you'll have sunshine on one side of Bexar County. Meanwhile, a downpour on the other that could drop 1 to 3 inches of rain. That's what we saw today, and we're going to have even more moisture to squeeze out of our atmosphere tomorrow. Then we get into Friday, and that high starts to creep its way in, sunny into the afternoon, and overall dry, sunny, more typical July conditions, what we're used to around here this time of year. But that high is going to actually steer some of that Saharan dust here into Texas. Right now, it's all in the Caribbean, and that high is basically over Florida. And with that clockwise or rotation around that high, it's going to steer that dust up into us. You'll notice it a little bit by sunrise on Friday, but more so at sunset when you really notice that extra haze in the air. And it's going to be present through the upcoming weekend as well before it starts to really dissipate out. Today, we topped out 89 degrees. That's it. The average is 95. We'll get there, especially Friday and into the weekend, but we have been well below average so far this month in terms of temperature. 77 right now, dew point is 69. Most dewies right now near 70 degrees, so you feel a little bit of mugginess. Temperatures in the 70s, not bad. 74 New Braunfels, 76 Bandera. Keep in mind, this time of year, this map can be filled with 80s. And right now we're in the 70s. Cotulla, an exception at 81. Tomorrow morning, 74. Can't rule out a few showers in the morning, but we think they'll really be peaking into the afternoon and early evening with about 40% of South Texas getting hit by it. And high temperatures in the upper 80s for most of us in the afternoon. Then sunny, mid 90s, maybe some upper 90s even into next week.
Thank you, Adam.
All right, an emotional second day for Greg Simmons as he goes to Cowboys camp. And it wasn't Greg who was getting emotional. It was the Cowboys owner.
Yeah, and tonight, by the way, we're coming to you from Ventura, one of our favorite locations here in Grand Park. And tonight, Jerry Jones explains why he got so emotional today in the first day, the first official day of the Dallas Cowboys training camp. When we come back, more about that. Also, is Texas headed to the SEC? Coming up.
Camping with KSAT, powered by Davis Law Firm.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our live coverage from Ventura, California of the Dallas Cowboys training camp. And what a first day we had today, from an emotional Jerry Jones to Mike McCarthy saying he almost wrecked his truck when he found out Hard Knocks was arriving in camp. And finally, how about the drama over the vaccination rate? That was a hot topic as Jerry, his son, Steven, head coach Mike McCarthy arrived this morning for the State of the Cowboys address to kick off their 2021 training camp. It may be McCarthy's second year, but it's his first in Oxnard after the COVID pandemic shut it down last year. Coming into today's address, there are reports that the Cowboys are only at 70% vaccination rate, below the 85% threshold that the NFL wants. And since the Cowboys are one of only 2 teams in camp right now, NFL is on a very high level of scrutiny.
Out of our 90 players here, we have a handful that, in my mind, have still to commit to this. A handful. A hand is 5.
I was not particularly 100% on board with the vaccination, but through the relationships that we're fortunate to have in the medical community, and to be able to watch the science, the numbers, and so forth. And then, I made a conscious decision to get the vaccination.
Cowboys owner Jerry Jones getting emotional at least 3 times today. It began with his comments about returning to Oxnard after 25 years since his last Super Bowl win, and soon included his relationship with Jimmy Johnson, who will be inducted into the Hall of Fame this summer as a member of the class of 2020. Johnson won 2 Super Bowls for the Cowboys in the 90s before being replaced by Barry Switzer. And today, Jones fully accepted the responsibility for their highly publicized breakup.
My role here was my job to keep it together. It was my job. It should have deference, should have had deference to something that was working good. So those are the things that come to my mind. We had a great run of it. He's a great coach, and I'm proud to have him as a friend and proud to have had the times that we had. We just had a great experience.
How about that? Another moment that stood out in the State of the Cowboys address was Mike McCarthy's reaction when he was told that Hard Knocks would be returning to document the Cowboys' comeback in California.
I'm just going to be honest. I mean, I about wrecked my truck when Jerry called me. I was driving through a rainstorm, but once I got back on the road, I'm all in. So I'm excited about it.
Are the Texas Longhorns headed to the SEC? Details coming up next. And welcome back to our live coverage of the Dallas Cowboys training camp in California. Bombshell dropped on the Big 12 today. Texas and Oklahoma right now considering joining the SEC. In fact, they are reaching out as of today. Now, that's according to the Houston Chronicle. It says if that happens, there would be 16 teams in the SEC. Texas A&M Athletic Director Russ Bjork was quick to respond, telling ESPN, we want to be the only SEC program in the state of Texas. There is a reason why Texas A&M left the Big 12 to stand alone, to have our own identity. The Aggies left the Big 12 in 2011, and their first year in the SEC beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa, and Johnny Manziel won the Heisman Trophy. Head coach Jimbo Fisher, coming off his best season ever in Aggie land after finishing 4th in the country, had this reaction to reports the Longhorns want to join the Aggies in the SEC.
There's a report in the Houston Chronicle that Texas and Oklahoma are inquiring about joining the SEC.
I bet they would.
What would you think about something like that?
I don't know. I'm just worried about A&M. You know what I mean? Listen, we got the greatest league in ball, so I mean, that's the choices they make or what they do. I don't know, but I don't know how I feel about it. I'm just worried about A&M. I'll control what I want to control here.
If the Horns are allowed into the SEC, you know what that means. Their rivalry will be renewed. And we leave you tonight with, we saw a different side of Jerry Jones today. Maybe it's because he's 78 years old. Maybe it's been because it's 25 years since he won a Super Bowl. Maybe it's because Jimmy Johnson is being inducted into the Hall of Fame next month. Or maybe it's because Hard Knocks is in camp. Perhaps all three. Here's what he told us.
What you're seeing is just how good it feels to be here. Doggone, just as much as I enjoy this stuff, I get to thinking, well, are you ever going to see that again? Are you ever going to be sitting up there talking to everybody again at the same time? And so I do. I guess I'm not going to apologize, but I am sensitive today and emotional about the whole show.
How about that? All right, tomorrow's the first day of practice. Hope you have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Live from California, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
All right, Greg. Have a great night, too. See you tomorrow.
We'll be right back.
Take a look at this. This dress appears to be one worn by Judy Garland in The Wizard of Oz. The piece of movie memorabilia missing for decades may now be found. According to a spokesman for Catholic University, the dress was discovered in the building named after the priest who was given the dress back in the 1970s. The dress now in the university's special collections. It has not been authenticated, but the school believes it is one of 5 used in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, okay.
Pretty cool. GMSA at 4:30.
Have a great night.